As the Trump administration works to drastically shrink the U.S. government, Donald Trump is pushing the Pentagon to build what he calls a Golden Dome defense system to protect the country from long-range missile strikes. Now, this would be similar to Israel's Iron Dome, except Israel is only the size of New Jersey, with America obviously much larger. Experts say it would be virtually impossible, but sources tell CNN the White House is signaling no expense will be spared to make this happen. Joining us to talk more about this is retired Air Force Colonel and CNN military analyst Cedric Leighton. Always good to see you, Cedric. Let's start first with this idea of a Golden Dome defense system for the United States of America. Could that even be effective in a country that is this geographically large?
Well, yeah, geographically large is, I think, a very relevant point here, Jessica, and it's great to be with you. The size of Israel is a little bit over 8,400 square miles. The United States has a square mileage of approximately 3.8 million square miles. So there's a large geographic difference between what the Iron Dome would cover and what the Golden Dome would cover just because of that geography. So normally what you have in a case like this is you look for the kinds of things that you want to protect. So you'd want to protect a city like New York City or Washington or San Francisco, and you'd want to make sure that everything is set up so that it would protect those areas. If an incoming missile goes after an area that is not populated, that is less of a risk than if it goes after an area that is populated or that is an important part of our infrastructure or our government. So those are the targets that you want to protect. So whatever they come up with when it comes to the Golden Dome is going to have to really concentrate on the areas that we think need the most protection. And that's going to, I think, drive the plans for it, the architecture of this, and also, of course, the costs.
It's also, so we think about it in terms of actual physical size. There's also the geography of this, which in Israel, obviously that is a country that is surrounded by nations that and territories that can attack it or have attacked it. In this case, the United States obviously has oceans on both sides, and then Canada and Mexico. Do you think we need a defense system like this?
Well, certainly not against either Canada or Mexico, and that's one thing that you have to look at. Where's the threat actually coming from? So, if the system is going to be designed to go after hypersonic missiles, which have a global, or at least a potential global range, such as those that you find in Russia or in China, that would then be actually a different answer to your question, because the threat would actually come from overseas. So those oceans do protect us to an extent, but the range of missiles, such as a hypersonic missile like the Kinjal or one of those missiles from the Russians, that would create a situation where you would need some kind of protection against those missiles. But because they are so fast, that also then becomes a challenge for any system that is built to go after them. On the good news side of that, though, the Ukrainians have demonstrated that they can shoot down some of the hypersonic missiles using the Patriot system that already exists and, of course, is U.S. technology.
Yeah, and we also learned that Boeing has been awarded this $20 billion contract to build a new fighter jet, dubbed the F-47. This is going to have technology designed to be able to penetrate air defenses of potential enemies like China or Russia. So on that note, how would you evaluate the state of our Air Force, our military, and what this update might mean?
Yes, so right now, the state of our Air Force is pretty good when it comes to penetrating enemy air defenses as they currently exist, such as the Russian air defense system or the Chinese air defense system, if you take those countries as potential adversaries. And the systems that we have, the F-22 and the F-35, are capable of penetrating those air defenses. The F-47 is designed to replace the F-22, but it has a kind of a dual role fighter bomber type role in its initial designs, at least. So the question then becomes, what kind of upgrades would the Russians make to their air defense system, or the Chinese make to their air defenses, that would necessitate an aircraft like this? The one thing that is also driving this is, the air defense question is one. The other is, what kind of aircraft are the Chinese building? And last month, they advertised the development of a possible sixth generation fighter of their own, which could potentially be a competitor to the F-47. And so that's where a lot of the design questions will come into play, and that could also be a cost driver for this new aircraft.
Yeah. All right, Cedric Layton, as always, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
You
Well,
bet, Jessica. Anytime.
Thank you.